A very good morning to you and welcome to the very first day of September 2025. It's news update on Souqnews Television, reaching you live from our studios in the city of Lagos. I am Grace Komolafe. Let's begin the news with a key situation surrounding federal workers. The federal government says many civil servants are unable to access its housing loan initiatives as their salaries are already tied to multiple loans from commercial lenders. Executive Secretary of the Federal Government Staff Housing Loan Board, Hajia Ahmed, disclosed this at a permanent secretaries forum, noting that despite the board raising its loan ceiling to 20 million naira for senior staff and creating a special scheme for grade levels 8 to 14, heavy loan deductions have rendered many workers ineligible. She described the situation as very sad, as it prevents employees from benefiting from government-backed home ownership schemes. To cushion the challenge, the board is partnering with mortgage banks and private developers to expand affordable housing access. Officials also highlighted other welfare measures under the 2021-2025 Federal Civil Service Strategy, including group life assurance, the 750 billion naira presidential pension bond, and free medical services at the HCSF complex, the resuscitation of the Nigerian Social Insurance Trust Fund, and improvements to the National Health Insurance Authority scheme were also listed, although union leaders urged government to address bottlenecks hindering staff access to health care. And now, despite an outstanding legacy debt of 2.7 trillion naira, gas producers supplied about 179.79 billion standard cubic feet of gas to power plants between January and July 2025, valued at 607 billion naira, according to the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission. Daily supply to power plants averaged 780.23 million standard cubic feet in January, rising to 862.86 million in July. Thermal power stations remain the largest consumers of domestic gas, even as some generation companies owe international oil firms over 500 billion naira. To address the liquidity crisis, the federal government has proposed a royalty credit scheme to allow gas suppliers offset debts against royalties owed. NEOP RC Chief Executive Binga Komolafe said the Commission is guiding the process carefully to avoid disruption to government revenue. Industry stakeholders, including BATS Naji, described Nigeria's situation as a paradox of vast gas reserves over 200 trillion cubic feet, yet limited supply to power plants. He noted that while regulated prices stand at $2.13 per unit, power firms often pay $2.70 in the open market, worsening financial pressures and adding to the over 1 trillion naira subsidy in the first half of 2025. And now the naira appreciated to 1,531.57 naira per dollar on Friday at the Nigerian foreign exchange market, up 0.23% week on week from 1,535.11 naira and 0.13% month on month from 1,533.55 naira in July. This comes after the currency weakened by 0.25% in July. Meanwhile, Nigeria's external reserves rose to $41.27 billion, continuing an upward trend from $41.00 billion at the start of August. Analysts at Cowrie Asset Management linked the improvement to stronger liquidity and steady dollar inflows. In the parallel market, the naira gained 0.37% to 1,538.33 naira per dollar, reflecting renewed confidence and reduced speculative activity. The Central Bank of Nigeria also sold about $70 million in interventions during the week, keeping rates stable within 1,525 naira to 1,538 naira. Experts project the naira will remain broadly stable, though stronger US dollar demand may limit further gains. And away from that, the Nigerian Meteorological Agency NIMET has forecast widespread thunderstorms and rainfall across the country from Monday through Wednesday. In its outlook released on Sunday, NIMET projected morning thunderstorms with moderate rainfall over Kebbi, Zamfara, Sokoto, Gombe, Borno, and Yobe, extending later in the day to Bauchi, Jigawa, Kano, Kaduna, Katsina, Adamawa, and Taraba. Central states, including Plateau, Niger, Nasarawa, Benue, Kogi, and the FCT are expected to lose light morning showers, followed by thunderstorms. In the south, cloudless skies will give way to light and moderate rainfall across Cross River, Akwa Ibom, Abia, Edo, Imo, Ebonyi, Delta, Rivers, and Bayelsa throughout the 3-day period. NIMET advised residents to take safety measures such as avoiding driving in heavy downpours, securing loose objects, disconnecting appliances during storms, and not sheltering under tall trees. Farmers were urged to avoid applying fertilizers or pesticides just before rainfall, while airlines were advised to obtain location-specific weather updates to aid flight planning. And lastly, on the news this morning, Nigeria and Brazil are deepening financial and economic cooperation with a focus on payment systems, fintech, and mobile money expansion. The talks took place in Brasilia during President Bola Tinubu's state visit, where CBN Governor Olayemi Cardoso met his Brazilian counterpart, Gabriel Galipolo. Discussions covered monetary policy, financial stability, and regulatory collaboration. Cardoso described the engagement as a step forward attracting capital, boosting trade, and leveraging diaspora remittances for development. He also highlighted lessons from Brazil's financial inclusion model and the Afro-Brazilian community as a cultural and economic bridge. Galipolo reaffirmed Brazilians' readiness to support stronger bilateral ties, while senior officials from the CBN joined the talks to underscore the broad scope of cooperation. And that's the news. Many thanks for watching. Do well to follow us across all our social media platforms at Souqnews Television. I am Grace Komalafe. Coming up shortly is Souq Business Landscape. Please stay with us.